My name is Eli Cuadro. I am a corporal here at Dickinson College Public Safety. I've been here since 2018. Prior to that, I was a Baltimore City police officer. I have 25 years experience in law enforcement. I became a first responder because I believe that my strong points were compassion, providing good customer service, and being a good ambassador for law enforcement. I wanted to enter the profession just to make a difference, and not to make a difference to the world, because that's impossible, but if I can just impact one person, through knowledge, through compassion, through making contact with them, or through helping them, that's kind of the reason I became a first responder. And I'm so grateful for the career I've had. One of the cases, of course, that has impacted me recently was here April 3rd. It occurred in the borough of Carlisle. And what had occurred was a call came out over the radio that there was a suicidal juvenile subject contemplating suicide. At which point the officers got on scene and they realized that there was a language barrier, language being Spanish. Myself being Spanish, fluent in Spanish, was called upon because they know that I speak Spanish. So I arrived on scene to assist them. I arrived at the location, at the residence, at which time I encountered the mom, who spoke only Spanish as well, the whole family, and she advised me that her daughter had a knife to her throat in the kitchen. And I told the mom if you think she was capable of harming herself, and her mom said yes, for past history. At which point, so I knew going in there, my idea, of course, my hope was to gain a good rapport with the juvenile subject, 13. So once I entered the kitchen area, she had a knife to her throat, and I introduced myself. Because when people are having mental episodes, it's very difficult to penetrate their way of thinking into what you want. So you have to have patience, you have to have compassion, and you have to be a good listener. So you have to listen to what they're saying and try to get them to talk. And the more they talk, the more they will open up. So this endured for about 45 minutes of me, establishing a good rapport with the female. At one point, she was very resistant, and as time went by, I think she started to realize that I was there to help her. I was not there to harm her, and I offered her my services. I offered her my time, and I advised her that I would be there as long as she needed me. And I wanted her to understand that I was there for her, and I wanted us to get through this together. And I conveyed that message on and on with her. As the minutes went by and the time went by, I found a soft spot, we'll say, in her speaking about her family. And once I established that, I stayed on that subject. And at one point she did start to relax her arm and lower the knife to her chest area. So from there lasted about 10 more minutes, and then she started to lower the knife down to her side. And that's when I knew, I said, okay, we're making progress, and that's where I wanted to stay focused. So going into that situation, when I had her lower the knife, she actually started to cry, and she started to sob uncontrollably. So I let her, and at that time, she put the knife down in the sink. When she put the knife down in the sink, I just had her walk towards me, and we both had a seat. And from there, EMS came. They transported her to the hospital. We got her the help she needed. We pointed out the right resources. So I continued translating in the hospital for her mom and for her and for the doctors and nurses. At which time they went to medically evaluate her while I talked to the mom a little bit. And she told me about the story behind it. So I understood, it was a tough situation that the young lady was in. And the best part for me was at the end, the mom started crying uncontrollably. And I asked her if she was okay. And she just hugged me. And she says to me, "Thank you, you saved my daughter's life."